So the cathedral ran out. It sounds like it was a meme at first. Say, hey, now why not wear 2 masks? And then they actually went and did it. So you probably saw the other day, they said it was probably on the side of your whatever social media platform you're using. CDC says that double masking greatly reduces the ability to spread the COVID vaccine. Studies show, or the COVID vaccine, COVID-19 or whatever. So I encourage you guys to actually read the study. Like, it's funny how all you have to do is say studies show, and then these deranged people will say, well, the science is settled, as if there is no study to the contrary, first and foremost. But not even that, just that. Not even just that there's studies to the contrary, but also that their studies are severely flawed. Right? There have been studies, though, done on the whole mask thing, not necessarily the double masking, but done on the whole mask thing. For example, like the Danish study that I'm always referring to, which is the only study that has a random control trial, by the way. And it showed basically that it was statistically insignificant when it came to whether or not the mask spread the virus, or aided in it, right? But this is what they do, and I talked about this in previous videos. What they do when it comes to this is that they will use a study, and they will use like subjects that are like simulation. So it's not real. It has nothing to do with the human body. There's not actual humans that are engaging in this. It's like fucking mannequins and 3D virtual bullshit. So what they did in the study, and we'll look at it right here. CDC conducted experiments is what they did. Experiments. This is how they came to the conclusion. Again, this is not real people that we're dealing with. 2 ways of improving the fit of medical procedure masks: fitting cloth mask over a medical procedure mask and knotting the ear loops of a medical procedure mask and then tucking it in and flattening the extra material close. So basically fucking mushing it in your face as much as possible. Make sure that diaper's tight. Each modification substantially improved source control and reduced wear exposure. What are the implications of the public health? And this is directly from the CDC. So y'all can't say I'm spreading fake news or misinformation, Google. I'm looking directly at what it is they say. There are multiple simple ways to achieve better fit for masks to more effectively slow the spread for COVID-19. So what they did, and you can go look at the material, and as you see, they're showing it's again, theories, not dealing with real people for the most part. Universal masking is one of the prevention strategies recommended by the CDC to slow the spread of SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes coronavirus disease in 2019. February 1, 14 states and District of Columbia had universal masking mandates. Mask wearing has also been mandated by executive order on federal property, blah, blah, blah. Masks substantially reduce exhaled respiratory droplets and aerosols from infected wearers and reduce exposure of uninfected wearers to these particles. Cloth mask and medical procedure masks fit loosely than respirators N95, blah, blah, blah. The effectiveness of cloth and medical procedure masks can be improved by ensuring that they're well fitted. So again, this is what the whole double mask thing is trying to do. At least 2 recent studies examined use of mask fitters to improve fit of cloth and medical procedure. Fitters can be solid or elastic, blah, blah, blah. During the January 2021, CDC conducted various experiments to assess 2 methods to improve medical procedure mask performance by improving fit and, in turn, filtration. 1, double masking. 2, knotting and tucking the medical procedure mask. This is figure 1. The first experiment assessed how effectively various mask combinations reduced the amount of particles emitting during a cough. Source control. So again, this is all fucking theories. It's like, okay, the effectiveness of the following mask configurations to block these aerosols was assessed. a 3-ply medical procedure mask alone, a 3-ply cloth cotton mask alone, and a 3-ply cloth mask covering the 3-ply medical procedure mask. The second experiment assessed how effectively 2 modifications to the medical. So you already know, one's knotted, the whole knotted behind the ear loop, tying it down, all this other stuff. A modified simulator. This is what we're dealing with. This is the science, not real people. A modified simulator with 2 pliable elastomeric head forms, a source and receiver, was used to simulate. Again, it's not real, guys. To simulate the receiver's exposures to aerosols. Again, this is what a lot of these studies that confirm the effectiveness of masks are doing. They're literally using like fucking mannequins and 3D fucking models that they've entered the variables for, right? To say, hey, look at this. This is how effective it is. No, it's not a random control trial. We're not even dealing with real fucking people. We're dealing with simulations. Results from the first experiment demonstrated that unknotted medical procedure mask alone blocked 42% of particles, blah, blah, blah. The discussion, these laboratory-based experiments highlight that it is the importance of good fit to maximize overall mask performance. Oh my God. But this is the hilarious part that you need to read. The findings in this report are subject to at least 4 limitations. I'm going to read this as concise as I possibly, as clear as concise as I possibly can. First, these experiments were conducted with one type of medical procedure mask and one type of cloth mask among the many choices that are commercially available and were intended to provide data about their relative performance in controlled settings. The findings of these simulations should neither be generalized to the effectiveness of all medical procedure masks or cloth masks, nor interpreted as being representative of the effectiveness of these masks when worn in a real world setting. I'm going to repeat that last part just real quick, and what they admitted in their own study. Nor interpreted as being representative of the effectiveness of these masks when worn in a real world setting. So this isn't what the study's even for. So yeah, people are going to suggest, and the people are going to lecture you probably all over the internet that this is effective. And the CDC's recommended. That's what the experts say. You trust them. You should be double masking. And they say that the fucking study I'm just telling you right now, they admit in their own study that this should not be interpreted as something that can be applicable, or rather the effectiveness of the mask if they're worn in a real world setting. Second, these experiments did not include any other combination of masks, such as cloth over cloth, medical procedure mask over medical procedure mask, or medical procedure mask over cloth. Third, these findings might not be generalizable to children because of their smaller size or to men with beards. I'm exempt from the science anyway. They've said it. It doesn't even apply to me because I got a fucking beard. So, hey, that's what the science says. That's what I'm running with. So anybody try to lecture me about double mask, I'm going to say the study said that it shouldn't be generalizable to men with beards. So here we are. That interfere with the fit, which is why the whole mask thing is stupid. I don't know if you guys, for those of you that have actually beards that are thick, it's fucking pointless to sit up there and wear that mask. Finally, although the use of double masking or knotting and tucking are 2 of many different options that can optimize fit and enhance mask performance for source control for wearer protection, double masking might impede. It's what these fools said, y'all. Check this out. Double masking might impede breathing or obstruct peripheral vision for some wearers, and knotting and tucking can change the shape of the mask and suggests that it no longer covers fully both nose and mouth in persons with larger faces. Hey, y'all, you might can't breathe, but shit, it may be effective. It may impede on your breathing, though. God damn, man, I'm living in a fucking bizarro world, bro. So this is the study that they're referencing. You guys can go look at this. I'm looking at it directly from the CDC. This was published yesterday. And what they said. So again, simulations. We're not dealing with random control trials or anything with real actual people anyway. Simulations. And they're also saying that this it's not meant to be sort of you can't look at this. And they admit themselves that it shouldn't be interpreted as being representative of the effectiveness of the mask in a real world setting. Because this is, obviously, you're not even using fucking real world settings anyway. See, when it comes to a lot of these studies, they've been similar. If you actually look at studies, so people will say studies show, and the studies are like simulations. This is why the studies with actual people there's not been many. There's only been one, to my knowledge, that have been done even with random control trials. And the ones that have been done with random control trials prior to March of 2020 anyway, had showed similar things that, okay, it's either not effective or the results are inconclusive because it's like statistically insignificant and they can't really tell. That happened up until March. But what they will do is either reference, this is what a lot of epidemiology studies do, unfortunately. They'll reference areas that had mask mandates and they'll say, well, the mask mandates were effective. Or they'll do stuff like this in their simulation, 3D studies and freaking models and stuff that they entered the variables and said, I'm not saying that stuff can't be useful. I know they do that type of stuff to try to decide like the impact of certain car wrecks and stuff. I'm not saying that stuff is useful, but to act like that, in which they admit can be applied to just a real world setting, and that the evidence or the science is just settled, you'd be being dishonest and disingenuous. But they admitted it themselves. It's not even meant to be applicable. It's not even meant to determine the effectiveness in the real world setting. That's what they said, not me.